we're live, we're going live, we're not going live. I don't have any idea what's happening anymore. I guess we're live. You're a pig.
It's eating.
This is inappropriate. This is a professional show.
Well, that's how you know it's live. Hello.
Oh, hello there.
Welcome to this week's episode of TV Tuesday. Woo, woo, woo. Make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com. Thank you for watching us exclusively on YouTube. We're also on the Facebook, the Twitter, and the Instagram.
And I apologize ahead of time. We're just finding out there's a lot of new changes to YouTube. And so now you have to label things as kid-friendly and non-kid-friendly. And what I just read, it looks like if you're kid-friendly, that live chat's turned off. So if you're watching the show, shoot a message to see if it lets you, so we'll know if it's actually working or not. If you don't want to chat with us, that's fine. We may not even listen to you anyway, so it works out either way. Hopefully the microphone's working because it looks like it's not moving.
Should I go look at it?
So, yeah, we should probably check it before we go too far. See if it's working. Stop looking at Elvis and things.
I can't help that.
You're going to have to go to our channel.
I'm going there.
And hurry it up, sister.
I'm going there. Okay.
Can you hear it okay then? All right, so it's just not moving on the thing.
Chat
so anyway,
publicly. Hello.
I think you're like a person on the thing. You're logged into it, so I don't think yours is going to count.
Okay.
So it needs to be somebody that's not you.
Well, let me log out of that.
So anyway, so sorry we're going to do a late night show again. She had meetings. Mom was in the hospital. All kinds of things going on in life. I had to save a life yesterday.
You
so
did.
All kinds of things going on that kind of interfered with being able to do this show today. But we're here now.
We're here.
And that's all that matters. So let's get down to some TV talk.
Nothing's going to stop
now,
us from
you're
TV.
not really prepared as usual. So
yeah, so go ahead and
you
start.
have like what, one show?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have 4, and 2 of them you watched.
Go for it.
Now, one of them I don't remember if we talked about or not. Did we talk about Green Eggs and Ham?
Mm-mm.
We didn't? So
no, Sam, I am.
There's a new Netflix series,
so cute.
The Dr. Seuss's Green Eggs and Ham, and what they've done is they've taken the story of Green Eggs and Ham and kind of stretched it out into an adventure between the two guys, one being kind of a salesman, one being kind of a...
He's an inventor.
An inventor and a salesman.
Yes.
There's one that's a salesman.
Yes.
Right? And then the other one's the inventor.
I think Sam is a salesman, and the Mr. What's his name? What is his name? He tells them. Anyways, he's an inventor, but his inventions aren't going too hot.
Yeah.
And that's where our story begins.
So they kind of stretched it out to where it's kind of like this world, the normal Dr. Seuss world, but it's an adventure of these two guys. So like with each episode, I think they deal with like eating green eggs and ham in the different places. Like in the book,
Guy is the inventor. Guy and Sam.
Yeah. So like in the book, it's like, I don't like them on a rock. I don't like them in a whatever. So I think in the show, each episode, it does those different things.
So far, episode 1 was like, I do not like green eggs and ham.
I do not like them, Sam, I am.
Exactly. That's it. So I love it.
Yeah, they're in the diner eating them and stuff.
And I don't know, like that's the popular dish of the diner is what's weird is everybody's ordering the green eggs and ham.
Yeah. And everybody loves it.
Who knows?
When I was a kid, when I first read the book, I wanted to eat green eggs and ham. Mm. My mom told me no, that means they're old and spoiled. And the logic behind that is sound.
Yeah, possibly true. Anyways, I love this little show.
It's great.
The animation is so cute. I don't know who does it.
I don't either.
But I
did all
really
of it
like
by myself.
it. Did you do it?
Yeah, I did the whole thing alone.
Okay. I need to go find out.
Okay, well.
It's Michael Douglas and Adam Devine.
It's got a great cast.
Keegan Michael Key's the one narrating, right?
Yeah.
So it's so cool. I really like it. You guys should watch it. It's on Netflix. So I don't know. Nice. It gives me a 92% match as something I would watch. How does it know?
Because it knows everything about you because you do everything on your phone.
I do. They're watching me.
Yeah, they are. They all know I'm not wearing pants right now.
They probably do. He's not wearing pants. Anyway, check out Green Eggs and Ham. Season 1 is available now on Netflix. It is the cutest show in the whole world. It is.
It's no Captain Underpants, but
but it is cute.
Although the movie Captain Underpants, I think, is way better than the show Captain Underpants on Netflix.
The movie is really fun.
The animation, I like the show, but the animation isn't as good as the CGI type computer animation they use in the movie. But that's a lot of times the case. You change it up because it's like I haven't watched it, but I'm assuming you have the Hotel Transylvania animated series. Like the animation is completely different.
Well, I think when you're doing
a
series, I haven't, but I think I saw like the first episode.
Okay, because I know it suddenly recorded a ton of episodes on your side of the thing. So that meant you usually watched it or you plan to watch it.
I planned to watch it and then I don't think I did.
Yeah, you do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She records a lot of stuff that she never
Well,
watches.
sometimes I record things on accident.
Well, because you hit add to
Add
list
show.
record. Because it's
Well,
one
no,
word.
Well, but then you have to go back and take it off.
Yeah, you click the one thing, it automatically records it.
Well, they need to make it an option at the beginning.
Or you just read it and do what it tells you. All right, so moving on. Green Eggs and Ham is on Netflix now. We just thought I'd throw that one out there. Another one that we watched recently is part of the Disney Plus, which is called Encore. It's in theory a Kristen Bell show, but not really. Because I was a little not put off, but I was a little surprised.
Disappointed.
Yeah, I thought there was gonna be a lot more
format.
I thought there was gonna be a lot more involvement of her throughout the show, not just she shows up at the beginning to introduce and tell everybody, and then she shows up in to see. So
yeah, it didn't really work.
Basically, tell everybody what the show's about.
So the show is about old high school or college casts of films. Stage plays that come back together to do a reprise, if you will.
Yeah, and it may be something that was 50 years ago.
Yes.
Or it could be something 2 years ago.
So the one they did, I feel like it was 20 years ago or something 25 years ago. People probably our age. And it's their high school, all the people from high school come back to do the play again, which was Annie.
And they're all playing the same parts.
Yes.
Yeah, so this one was Annie. They had most of them. Well, none of them had seen each other since high school. It wasn't like any of them had stayed friends.
No, which was kind of sad.
So it becomes a reality of not only them, and they only have 5 days to prep the show. So they have to relearn the music, get it all back down, stage it. They bring in professional choreographers, professional vocal person. Yeah, whatever arrangement for music. And they have a professional director. Like that first episode, they also brought their original director from the school back,
which was so cute. Their teacher.
They brought her, and then they had her in the show too this time, so she could be part of everything. But it's very much like watching any of these other shows where you get the little history of the person, what they've been doing, what's their job, where they're living, what their life has been like. And then as the show unfolds, you're watching them do the show, but they're also dealing with those times in high school of why this guy was shut off and didn't really talk to everybody.
Yeah, and it was kind of sad. I mean, because you had the one guy that felt isolated because he hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
And then you had the one guy that was kind of self-isolated because he was a Jehovah's Witness, so he wasn't really allowed to do
There's another one that's like parents had died or something. He was with his grandparents, lived with his grandmother, but nobody knew it or something.
Yeah, some other kid that had cancer during high school. I mean, it's a lot of drama.
And then it talks about, too, like, there's the hurt feelings, too, because there's, like, the king and queen, prom king and queen that were the it couple.
Mm-hmm.
Then they talk about how they were talking about wanting to be married or whatever, and then he cheated on her, and then they broke up, and now they're back together, not together, but in the same place, and how they deal with seeing each other again. And, now they're talking about their friends again, and, everything's okay. And so what did you think of the show as a whole?
As a whole, I thought it was interesting because it does explore the dynamic relationships of high school through adulthood and how, like, you're friends with a lot of your high school people.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you the names of the people I went to school with.
Because they were my posse.
But there's like 3 or 4 people I still talk to,
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't remember.
Did you really even have any friends, to be fair?
I did.
I've met you.
I know.
It makes me concerned.
I know it's surprising. But you know what? I honestly don't remember anything about school. It's a blur to me. I don't remember anything that happened. So I don't know, what does that mean? I wasn't engaged in what was going on. Because do you remember things?
Yeah, I remember a lot of stuff. But I had a lot of things happen in high school. I think for everything you've ever told me, it sounded like you had a very generic high school experience.
I did.
Because you were a nerd, you were a band geek.
I wasn't band, orchestra.
You were in that religious family, so you didn't really get to do anything. You didn't do movies. You didn't go so you were very isolated in a standpoint of life.
I went home. I went to school.
Yeah, so that's why I think you don't remember anything, because it's the same thing you do now. The difference now is we have a life. You go out and you do things and things like this. But my high school experience was first dealing with, when I was younger, always being the smaller kid, but I was also already a fighter at the time. But by the time I hit high school, I was already probably a blue belt or brown belt in Taekwondo. So I was already doing fighting and stuff, but I was also the smaller kid of everybody.
Yeah.
So I had to deal with that. And then dealing with, as I got older, a lot of the guys that I hung out with had kind of gone into the bad direction of gangs and stuff like this. And so I went with them. So I was hanging out with gangbangers, and then I had my silly friends, and I had a friend that killed himself. And so there was a lot of things that happened.
There's a lot of high drama in your
school.
So
I have stuff that I remember, and then I remember offshoot stuff happening because it happened around the time of something impactful. So then the nonsense happened too. Whereas a lot of my experiences in high school weren't even in high school, because like my best friend, we didn't go to the same school. So, like my best friend named Danny, he went to Garland, I went to South Garland. So we didn't have school together,
didn't have that.
but we lived in the same neighborhood until 8th grade. So by the time I was in high school, we didn't even live next to each other anymore. Like we knew each other because we lived in the same neighborhood. We went to the same junior high until 7th grade. By that point, he was already leaving for high school because he was a year ahead of me. I moved to another district,
school,
if you will, different school. And so we had to hang out on the weekends and stuff, but we had to rely on our parents taking us different places until the point we got to drive. And then we were driving. I had new friends. He had new friends. And, we didn't actually start hanging out much again until we got out of high school. And then now we've gone back to where we're still best friends and we still talk, but it's every few months because now we have different lives and we're in different parts of our lives. Because whereas my kids are grown, I'm done with the family life. I'm dealing with adult people and our own lives. He's still got a small kid.
Yeah.
Suckers. That's right. So anyway, I enjoyed the show. It wasn't as entertaining as I expected, mainly because I don't think I was expecting to deal with the drama. I thought we were just going to deal with the show. Yeah. And it was going to be fun.
Well, I was expecting her to be there to jokes and funny. Because she's funny.
I thought we were going to I didn't even think so much funny, but I thought it was going to be her
like helping them
with some of the acting or giving them pointers and kind of like The Voice, like she would help coach them.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
But she literally comes on, and it may not be this way every episode, but the first one, she literally comes on, she introduces them, tells the story of this school, this play. Then we don't see her again until they perform the show at the end.
Yeah.
So her involvement was very much hands-off host.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Hold on, Vader. I don't know if it's like that every episode, but it was a little letdown just because I'm a fan of hers. Now, going forward, it may work fine because now we know what we're getting into.
But
so anyway, so
you have to wait. Man. You have to wait.
So I guess go ahead and talk about your next show. It's Encore is on Disney Plus.
There you go. It stars Kristen
Bell. Go
ahead. My show, I'm super excited about season 3 of The Crown. Now on Netflix, you can watch the whole season. It is so good. So we've jumped ahead in time. When we last saw our queen, it was Claire Foy, and it was young queen. Now we've jumped ahead.
Claire Forlani?
Yes, we've jumped ahead probably about 20 years in the future. So we have a new actress. I didn't even look up her name. I'm ill prepared.
I like that lady.
Which one?
That's in The Crown.
Do you like her?
Yeah,
she's good.
She's always good and stuff. I don't know her name either, but
we're about to find out.
Phyllis Diller.
Oh, love Phyllis. The Crown. Now it was Claire Foy. This lady.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that.
She's right there. I just showed her picture right there.
Sorry. Olivia Colman. So good.
She's on Graham Norton a lot.
Is she?
Yeah.
Well, we are now moved ahead into the future, and I like
in space?
Yes.
The Crown in space.
What I've always liked about The Crown is it keeps us a little bit in the drama to make it exciting, but it really does try to stay true to the life and the story of these people.
Sorry, I'm calling my dog.
So at this point, we're in the 60s, and it's bringing up an actual case of this guy they thought was a spy, or this tragedy that happened, or Prince, whoever, Edward has to go to Wales. And I mean, so they're bringing up real life stories.
What year are we in?
The 60s, 67, 68.
I'm sorry if you already said that. I wasn't listening to you.
That's okay. So I like that.
Real life.
Yeah, I know. And so now we have this lady, Olivia Colman. We have.
It's the same queen in everyone. It's just, or is it different queens?
No, it's still
same queen in different stages of her life.
Queen Elizabeth that we have right now. This is the story.
So it's like she's older now.
Yes.
I got you.
And then we have the new Duke, the newer one, which is this guy. Duke. Helena Bonham Carter's in this season because she's the older version of Princess Margaret. And then I really like this kid, Josh O'Connor, who now plays Prince Charles. Sorry, it was Prince Charles that went to Wales.
Big ears?
He does.
Okay.
See, look at him. Look at his little big ears. Isn't that so cute?
Look at his little big ears.
But I like that they went through the effort to try to find people that look like
big
these.
ears.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
No, so he was good. There was a whole episode about him. There's an episode about the sister, whatever her name is, Anne. I mean, there's so many things, and it's so interesting that one. Who is it? I don't know. Anyways, there's one episode where Charles is spending time.
Charles in charge of our days and our nights. Before he became like a crazy Trump supporter.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Where he's just sitting with a normal family, and the family looks at him and realizes that, why is he looking at us all weird? Because we're going to go tuck our kid in for bed. But then they realize, because that never happened to him. He always had nannies or whoever. And then he and his sister have a conversation, and he's like, why is mother so cold to me? And she doesn't even do that to you.
Was that weird?
That
was like the worst. If you've never seen any of our shows before,
I can't do accents.
She does horrible accents. And her impressions are usually the same impression. Like,
I know, it's all the same thing.
My friend Danny that we talked about a second ago, he's like that. His best one, he'd be like he does a voice, and he'll pick a voice, and it'd be say like, I'm Sean Conrad. And then be like, okay, do Clint Eastwood. He'll be like, I'm Clint Eastwood. It's the same thing for every single person. Anyway.
But it's so sad because Princess Anne is like, well, at least she pays attention to you. I'm not important. So they just ignore it because she's the second child. So she's not important.
No.
You know?
I'm important because I'm an only child.
And then
you're a second child,
the
so you're
same
not
thing
important.
comes back up again, which this is a reoccurring theme, but poor Princess Margaret always gets pushed to the side for the queen because, again, she's the second child. So it's not important. It's line of succession.
Until she murders the other one.
Yeah, no. Anyway, so it's an interesting show. I think most Americans are impressed or just intrigued by the life of the royals because we don't have royals here.
Everybody gets so weirdly obsessed with their weddings and their funerals.
I love it. I think it's amazing.
I don't get it. I'm like,
but there's so much protocol and stuff.
But I also don't understand the fascination with anyone's relationships. Like, I don't know why we care who's married to who. And like, I might find out like an actor married to someone else, be like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that's extent of what I care about. Like Brandon Routh, who plays the Atom in Legends of Tomorrow.
He was Superman before.
And he's one of the ladies, the other cast members. He's married to her.
Oh, cool.
They've been married for a long time.
No
They're
idea.
both leaving the show, and I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's kind of cool. Moving on. I don't understand. I don't care about mixing people's names. I don't care about when somebody says, oh, Prince Charles is getting married. It's like, I don't care. I got married. He's not doing anything everybody else does.
People are involved with our life.
Nobody cares when we got married. Except the 500 people that showed up.
Okay, it was only 300.
Oh, whatever. The 300 people. No, I had 500 people at my daughter's funeral. That's what it was.
Oh, well, that's depressing. Thanks for bringing that up. Way to bring the room down. In the meantime, go watch the season 3 of The Queen, available on Netflix now. It is so good.
All right, moving on. So I have 2 other new shows.
Yes.
But I'll say one, and then if you have a show. Hey, Vader, are you on the show now?
Vader, you're on the show.
So one of the shows is called The Kominsky Method. And it was a show that I was really interested in when it came on. It stars Michael Douglas and Alan Arkin.
How is Michael Douglas doing?
He's excellent. And I love that he's kind of got, not that he was gone, but he's kind of had a resurgence because of, I personally think it's because of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And now, but it wasn't Ant-Man though. It was before that. It's when he played Liberace in the Behind the Candelabra miniseries. So and since then he did Ant-Man. And I think he's done a few appearances here and there, but this is a Netflix TV series. It's very much in the vein of Grace and Frankie.
Oh, I love Grace and Frankie.
It's this time it's not the same storyline, but it's 2 older men instead of 2 older women who, through no fault of their own, they're kind of put together. And in this case, this guy, Kominsky Method, he's an actor. And he's an aging actor. He owns a school where he teaches the Kominsky Method of acting. Yeah. That's what the title is.
Right.
And so he runs the school, and Alan Arkin is his agent.
Oh.
So they've been friends forever, but they have this love-hate relationship of they fight and they're always arguing. but he's like Michael Douglas's character he's getting older, but he's kind of a womanizer. His daughter is played by the lady you love, the little chubby girl. She's really dry sense of humor. Oh my God, what was that show she was in? You'll look.
How do you spell Kominsky?
It's Kominsky. It's the Kominsky Method. KOM right there. I know you love is the girl that plays his daughter.
That one? No. I like her.
No, keep going. She's a little chubby girl.
What if she's not chubby anymore?
Where is she? Go back to the beginning, because she's a major character. Maybe that is her and she's got makeup on. Oh, that is her.
Click it.
Is that girl?
Oh, I love her. She's so funny.
Yeah. I just didn't look like her for a second. She plays his daughter. Nancy Travis, who's on Last Man Standing. Mm-hmm. She plays kind of a love interest to Michael Douglas, who's also one of his students. But the premise of the show is Alan Arkin's character's wife is sick with cancer. She passes away like in the first episode.
Oh.
It's not really a spoiler because it's the premise of the show. And so Michael Douglas, who promises to take care of him. And so it's them basically navigating Hollywood while trying to live their old people lives. And Alan Arkin has a running gag of wanting to kill himself. And so, like, at one point, they're driving home, and he starts talking about Thelma and Louise, and then Michael Douglas gets freaked out. Don't be trying to kill me.
Yeah, don't Thelma and Louise us right now.
He's got a druggy daughter that he's got to deal with, and Michael Douglas is trying to have a serious relationship, but he's always been like a womanizer. But then he keeps questioning it, so then he does something stupid wrong, and then he's got dead, and so it's got that drama comedy, and they're like little 30-minute episodes.
That's cool. Love it. That's the best.
So the first season, it's actually on the second half of the first season, I guess. So, but the first season was like 8 episodes. Pretty quick, easy watch.
That's good.
But it's funny. It's heartwarming. It's a great little show.
Cool.
So the Kominsky Method is on Netflix.
Oh, that's on there.
I just was going to tell you that's on Hulu now, so I can watch it. I've still never seen it.
Anyway,
so, you got anything else? Because if not, I have another show.
I just have to tell y'all, I am currently in love with the show.
Me. Oh.
Nancy Drew.
Oh.
I've mentioned it before, but now I'm deep into it. We're like in episode 8 or 9. It's so good how they're bringing like the stories of the books to life, kind of through
television.
Through television, but like the titles of the stories, and they still keep a little bit of the ghost story element because that was her thing. She's like, "Oh, ghosts aren't real. Let's solve the mystery."
So she was basically Scooby-Doo with a girl.
She was Scooby-Dooing it. And then my other favorite show right now is Evil. I love the show Evil.
I think we've talked about that on here before.
We have, but you gotta see this little man is so good at being bad.
This little
the little dude with I'm in the wrong thing. The guy with the glasses, he's so horrible.
The one from Saw.
Yes.
And
don't like him. But I think we're not supposed to like that guy.
Do you know who he's married to in real life?
Who is he married to?
He's married to the redhead lady from True Blood. Hi, y'all.
Really?
Yeah, they've been together.
That little nerdy man?
Yeah, they've been together for a long time.
Oh my.
She's on Claws and some other stuff. Yeah, they've been together for quite a while. When he used to be on Person of Interest. He was like the little computer guy.
Yes, he was a computer man.
She played his wife on Person of Interest as well.
How cute is that?
So it was cool.
That was the show with Jesus.
Yes.
Jim Caviezel.
And your girl that left and went to go to
the other
was it Grimm or
I don't remember.
No, not Grimm. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. That's all. Tell me about your last show.
All right. So the other show I watched was a mini-series called CATCH-22. It's executive produced by George Clooney. George Clooney's actually in the show, I think, 2 or 3 episodes. It's another like a 6-episode miniseries. It's basically about these bombers in the war, in World War II.
Yeah,
I believe. It's based on this book that was like a dark comedy satire about war and whatnot, but it's really about. It's kind of like if you take MASH. So you've got all these different soldiers, but they're also dealing with the real aspects of war. And they have a certain amount of bombing missions that they're required to go on before they can get discharged to go home. But the government, every time they get close to they have 7 missions they go on. Oh, we've raised it to 10. Oh, we've raised it to 15. So like this one, they get to the point that they had raised it to like 50 missions.
Wow.
So the guy says he's kind of like being like the clinger where he's doing all this stuff, trying to get thrown out of the military, faking injuries, doing their stuff. And he always sloops around. So he finally figures out at one point, I'll just do all the missions at once.
Nice.
and get them done. So he gets them all finished, gets it stamped, and then it gets lost in paperwork. So by the time he gets back and checks back with them, they're like, well, we're sorry, we raised it to 55. And since your paperwork wasn't technically done by the time they raised it, even though they had already had it for like 2 weeks, he goes, it's past it. So essentially you're still enrolled. And so since you're still enrolled, now you have to do 55. So, but it's kind of comical, but it's dark, and you have people dealing with the emotions, and it's also people getting shot down in the planes. And like there's one thing that had me so mad that it was like this one guy, and I don't want to tell you what happens because it's a great scene, but it's like, what? Where one guy kills another guy by accident, right? And then it turns he kills himself because he doesn't want to be, he realizes what he did because he didn't mean to, and he kills himself, right?
Yeah.
When you get out there, I'll tell you because you probably want to watch
I
this.
won't watch it.
But so when they're questioning another
I like
guy,
that you know what I'm not going to watch.
I know. When he questions another guy about, they're asking him what happened.
Yeah.
And if the guy was in his right mind. And the guy was like, well, he was in his right mind until it happened. And then when he killed himself, I'm assuming he was no longer in his right mind because that's why he killed himself. And he goes, but before that, was he in his right mind? He goes, yeah. And he goes, so what you're saying is you can't, the government and the war cannot be blamed for his behavior of why he did what he did. So that we can't be held responsible. And he goes, well, I beg to differ that the war caused him to do this. He goes, but did it cause him to do it at that time? Was he happy before he did this thing? And he goes, yeah, but he goes, then that means he was not upset by the war. He was fine. It was the trauma of what happened that he caused, not war. So it's just like, that's the whole CATCH-22 idea.
Yeah.
Is that term is one of those that's, you know, no matter what you do,
They're
there's always a
responsible.
loophole. And the whole show is that it's frustrating to no end.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
I would
like,
be angry by this show.
it's funny and you forget the things that are happening. And then when something like, there's one moment where like there's a deal where they're like in Germany, and then there's dealing with prostitutes and stuff like this. And this one guy kind of rapes this girl and kills her. The other guy's calling him a monster, and the MPs show up, but they come to arrest the other guy because technically he shouldn't have been there because he came to tell the fiance of one of the pilots that got shot down. They weren't going to let him go tell her. So he went on him anyway.
Oh.
But they didn't show up to arrest the guy that murdered him. They goes, oh, she's a civilian, so that's a civil matter. That has nothing to do with the military. So they just ignored him and arrested the guy that considered him AWOL.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like, it's so many things. It's funny. It's heavy. It's bloody. It's adult. You know, there's one guy has an affair with like one of the general's wives, and so there's that. And somebody gets, and it gets frustrating to the point because this one guy, it's mainly focused on one guy. His name was Yo-Yo, and every time he's almost out, something changes. He's right back in. Like at one point, he gets shot and he crashes, or he jumps out of the plane, and his friend's like, "Just go." And so now you assume that he's dead. He's in this little Italian community or whatever, a German place, and they're taking care of him. He's finally living a good life, and the military shows up and takes him back. And it's stuff like this isn't exactly what happens, but they're saying like he needs to be discharged because he gets his toes shot off, whatever. And or say this is not what happened because it's actually worse. But say he got shot in the foot, and he's like, so I get to go home. They're like, no. What do you mean no? He goes, well, what happened was, and I'm making up a version so not to spoil it because it's way more funny, but also really horrific. Again, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But we're gonna say it's his foot this time, and so the doctor says, no, you don't get discharged because you didn't lose any toes, and you didn't get shot in the heel. You got shot in the center of the foot, which can heal, and then you can still walk. Now, had you lost toes, we could have sent you home. But because you were shot in the middle of the foot, you're okay. So it's that kind of stuff. And it's that stupid loop. And then when I tell you what it actually was, you'll be like, are you kidding me? So anyway, so it's CATCH-22. That's a Hulu original series. I don't know if there's going to be more than that. I think it was just a 6-ish miniseries. And we're giving away a copy of it on our website. What? And we may just have a copy of the Kominsky Method Season 1 pop up on our site soon, too. So those are those two.
Cool.
So that's it. You want to hear some news?
Yes.
I only have 3 little news bits just because we didn't have time because everything going on.
Yeah.
One of them is going to have you insanely excitable.
Okay. I'm excited already.
One for fans of the show, the Marvel series, The Runaways, which is, I believe, on Hulu. It's ending after season 3. I believe it's been canceled, so that'll be the end of it.
That's too bad.
I believe it's either Hulu or Amazon. I don't remember, but if you're a fan of it already, you know where it's at. Then there's going to be which this was already known. There's going to be a Lord of the Rings TV series on Amazon. They've already picked up a second season and hadn't even started airing the first season yet.
That's okay. You guys go walk your ring
I'm just making
around.
that announcement.
Yeah.
So for the big news, this is specific big news for you.
Okay.
So you know the series Vikings is ending at the end of the season.
Yes.
So it was announced today.
To see it.
It was announced today that show is still ending.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just kidding. The show is still ending, but there's going to be a sequel spin-off series on Netflix called Vikings Valhalla, and it takes place 100 years later, following other actual real-life famous Viking characters and dealing with their things.
Because by that point, we've reached England or France or whatever, and we're probably there.
So it's apparently
they'd already reached part
everybody assumed the sequel
Arabia.
series was going to be on history, but apparently it was popular enough that it's going to Netflix. So I don't know when it's starting, but it's the same people that do the original series are going to be doing the new series.
They wait for me at the gates of Valhalla and beg me come home.
And obviously, you probably don't have to watch the other series to watch the new one.
But you should, because it's so good, because you can look at Bjorn.
It was good for the first few seasons, and then I kind of was out.
Good.
I was out after the first few seasons only because it just it felt different.
I love Ragnar Lothbrok.
Yeah, which he was after he was gone in the first 2 seasons or 3?
3-ish.
3.
But
and I know that's history, so he had to be gone. But it kind of lost me. Like I'll probably revisit eventually. But anyway, but that's the only news I pulled up today. There's other stuff going on. That's just the ones I pulled up right now. Just because I didn't have a lot of time, but I wanted to get something out there.
All right. So. Well, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out our website, HollywoodMatrimony.com, and go to the contest button to win all the free stuff. Thank you for watching us here on YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook at Hollywood Matrimony, on the Instagram at Hollywood Matrimony, and on the Twitter at Hollywood Matter, MATR.
And on the contest, we all know, like I said, we're going to be popping up the Kominsky Method up there. We have CATCH-22 up there. Technically, it's a movie, but it had to do with an old TV show. We're giving away a Dora Adventure Kit. It comes with a copy of Dora and the Lost City of Gold, the Blu-ray movie, really but also backpack with binoculars and the flashlight things and bags and all
Swipe or no swipe.
That's right. It does not have any animals with it. I apologize.
There you go.
So, but don't forget, join us back here on Sunday for another episode of Hollywood Matrimony Live. Be right here on this YouTube channel as well as our Facebook page. This week, we're going to be talking about 21 Bridges, Frozen 2.
I thought you were going to say 21 Jump Street.
We're going to talk about
22 Bridges.
It's 21 Bridges.
Are you sure? I thought it was 22.
21 Bridges. Street. 21 Bridges. She's going to look it up so she can see that she's wrong.
I'm going to see that.
And then A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Frozen 2, and all kinds of other random nonsense.
We need to let it go on Frozen's.
And then circle back Monday for another episode of More Shorts Movie Mondays, and then Tuesdays for another episode of TV Tuesdays where me and the lady here talk about our nonsense. Hopefully next week we'll have a little more to talk about.
Yeah, I want us to start watching the show C, with starring Aquaman.
Jason Momoa. I have a little fact about that. And so in case it's a while before and I forget about this, I just read an article about that because in that show, he has some weird war battle cry.
Yeah.
So he actually got a guy that does death metal, that are those people that seem to go, and he was like his vocal coach on how to do the war cry.
That's got to be hard because you don't want to hurt your throat on that.
Yeah. So anyway that's all for today. Don't forget to hit our shows up. Hit that subscribe button below. Hit the little orb that's over here with subscribe. Find out whatever trailer's in here. And be sure to try to get out there, share our stuff. The more subscribers you get, share our stuff. The more subscribers you get, the more followers you get, the more stuff you get.
Free stuff.
And they send more and more stuff each time, better stuff each time. And if you want the good stuff, you got to help us out.
There you go.
Make sure you help us out. Be nice to each other. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
And don't forget.
What?
Exactly.